Hello, good morning po sa ating lahat and welcome to the second session of the Teaching with Technology Training Series Part 2 of the UPLB Center for Advancement of Teaching and Learning, or UPLB CATL. So thank you po for joining us today for another interesting topic. No? So today we'll be discussing upgrading pedagogy using Padlet. So this app will allow your students to collaborate online by sharing documents or texts sa online. No? So at this point po, I'm Beverly R. Pabro, University Extension Specialist of UPLB CATL, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. So kasama rin po natin ang ating director, si Dr. Edmond Centeno. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ate Bev. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng ating participants at sa ating resource person ngayong umaga.
Yes, and kasama rin po natin ang ating UPLB CATL staff, si Nilo Torio, who will assist us in today's session. So we hope that after this session, you will know how to learn Padlet po in using for collaborative and teaching learning activities po. So before we start po, let me first mention some of the reminders of our today's training. So these are the house rules. First, microphones and cameras of all the participants will be turned off during the training session. So during the Q&A, the participants may send questions through the Zoom chat box, or you may click the raise your hand button if you want to speak. So e-certificates will be given upon accomplishing the evaluation form. So later po, i-share po natin yung link for the evaluation form. So evaluation form must be accomplished until April 22, tomorrow. So don't forget po to fill out our evaluation form. So at this point po siguro, let me first introduce our guest speaker. Okay, our guest speaker is Miss Grace Ramos-Espiel. She's an educator, a writer, and a mentor. She has been in the teaching profession for 14 years. She earned her bachelor's degree in development communication, major in educational communication from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, and a certificate in professional education, major in English from the New Era University. She earned her master's degree in education, major in educational administration at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Mrs. Espiel is an author of English textbooks, workbooks, and supplemental magazines for University Press of First Asia. She is also presently the English teacher and school paper advisor at the Quezon City Science High School. She has spoken in various topics dealing with remote teaching and learning, K-12, using supplemental educational magazines, design thinking, creative strategies, in teaching and using technology in the classroom. She is also active in training in journalism, particularly in editorial and science and feature writing. She is also the school's reading coordinator and research manager. So let us all welcome in the Zoom space, Miss Mary Grace Ramos-Espiel. Good morning po, Ma'am Mary Grace.
Good morning, Ms. Beverly. Thank you for that introduction. Good morning to everyone. And please allow me to share my screen. Okay. Our session this morning is called Post Up, Making Virtual Classes Interesting Through Padlet. And as we begin, I'd just like to have a quick review of what technology integration has added or will add to our virtual classes. So unang-una po doon, when we include or integrate technology in our classrooms, there's inclusion. Students in the classroom can all learn from our subjects or courses because they all have access to whatever materials we send them through websites, emails, or if we have our learning management systems. Another thing that technology integration adds to our virtual classes is collaboration. So ICT naturally brings students together where they can talk about the material we give them. They can also discuss a topic that we give them while we're doing virtual classes. And this way, we're giving them avenues for communicating even though they're online. And then lastly, of course, ICT integration in our virtual classes provides different opportunities to make it more fun and enjoyable. Ito yung na-miss natin when we're still doing face-to-face classes, when it's very easy to get the students' attention and to get them work together. Ito yung unang stage ng distance learning natin, medyo nawala o pinapapa natin ng konti. And good thing that we are learning about the different tools and websites that we can use where students can have increased engagement. And as a result of increased engagement, we have seen that students are able to retain more knowledge and consequently, they learn more about the competencies that we are trying to teach them. So talking about these three advantages of using ICT in our virtual classes, inclusion, collaboration, and engagement, knowledge retention included, we have Padlet. Here's one app that can give all the mentioned benefits of technology integration. So this is how the homepage of Padlet.com looks like. Padlet defined as an online notice board tool that can help digitize the classroom. So para siyang yung nung face-to-face natin, yung whiteboard natin. I remember DevCom having whiteboards. Tapos titikita natin ng kung ano-ano from Manila papers from way back. Kaya na-reveal ko anong era ako. Manila papers way back o kaya whiteboard markers and then students can discuss there using the whiteboard. So ito na siya, digitized version siya. And we call it Padlet. So it's a place where we can share multiple walls and our students, including us as the moderators or facilitators of the virtual classroom, can create single or pwedeng multiple walls and we're able to, or we will be able to house all the posts, the walls that we want to share with our students. Anong pwedeng ikabit? Kung yung whiteboard natin noon, we can only post Manila papers or physical visual aids or tangible visual aids. Dito sa Padlet, we can feature images, pwedeng links, videos, and documents, lahat sama-sama in one wall. Again, this wall that we will create through Padlet, pwede siyang public, in other words, searchable siya for everyone, and pwede rin naman natin siyang gawing private, kung sino lang o kung kanino lang natin gustong i-share. This is how a filled out Padlet wall or Padlet board looks like. Makikita natin the packs or the contents are in a brick-like layout like this. So it's ideal for mood boards. Ito yung pinaka-basic na layout ng Padlet. Okay. Wall. So it contains brick or contents arranged in a brick like this. And pwede siya for mood boards, pin boards, o kaya bookmarking. Pwede pang maglagay ng virtual o gumawa ng virtual photo albums. And then dito, we use this kind of layout if hindi naman siya or hindi importante yung order ng mga content. Or we're not really very particular about which content has to be posted first. So ito yung itsura ng filled out Padlet. Let me stop sharing and have a new share. Okay, so to give us more details about Padlet.com, okay. Again, it's an online app. So simulan natin dun sa paano tayo makakakuha ng Padlet. We'd simply go to our browser and type Padlet.com. Pwede siya sa kahit Windows, Linux, or Mac browser, mahanap natin siya. And there's the option to download the app. Pwede, like what you see in the screen, there's that install Mac app button, which we can click. And then pwede rin siya sa Windows. And you also have the option of not to download it. You can just go to the website. And then from there, pwede na natin siyang gamitin. If you want to use Padlet naman in a mobile device, would simply go to Google Play Store and then search for Padlet. Just like how we do it when we're trying to search any app, and then we click the install button to start up your installation. If you don't want to install it naman in the mobile devices, pwede rin siya sa website. So punta lang tayo sa browser and then just type padlet.com. So after that, after we're able to either download the app or access the website, ayan na, we can now create a Padlet account. So how do we do it? We just open or go to padlet.com and then you will see its homepage. When you see its homepage, ito na po yung makikita natin. So you will see there, click sign up or sign up for free. Yun na po, word of caution is if we are using Padlet for free, we are limited to 5 Padlet boards. So, di man lang, but the good thing is that pwede naman natin i-delete yung Padlet boards that we have already done. There's a way to save it. There's also a way to publish it. Later, I'll show you how to do that. So kung hindi naman siya gagamitin pang araw-araw or if there are only certain activities that we wish to use this collaborative board, then okay na yung free account. And then it will ask you to enter your email and create a password for it. Or alternatively, pwede na po yung ating Google or Facebook accounts. And then once you've filled it out with your information, email and password, there's going to be a confirmation message sent to your email. Nakalagay lang your Padlet is ready. So you can now sign up, or you've signed up for Padlet and then it's ready to go. After which, ayan na, we can already start creating a Padlet board. But before we do that, let me just continue with sharing with you ano yung mga layout na pwede for Padlet. So yung una pinakita ko kanina, yung layout na wall. So sinabi natin kanina that this type of layout for Padlet is used when we are not really very particular about the sequence of the content that we're going to use, and if the contents of the Padlet board are not really related to each other. Related in the sense na connected to response 1 to response 2. And then there's the shelf layout. In this type of layout, you'll be able to stack your content in a series of columns. So, pababa naman siya. You can create as many columns as you want. Scrollable si Padlet. So you can scroll from left to right. See all the contents in a column. So in this example that we have, we can see that yung title ng output or ng Padlet board is Group Activity Bridges. And then, in a smaller text, nakalagay yung instruction ni teacher. Pick a type of bridge and research its history. Explain how it works. Include any relevant or interesting facts, and don't forget to add your name. So, si student, gagawa siya automatically pag clinic ni student yung part where he or she can start creating content for Padlet, naka-layout na siya ng ganito. Naka-per column na siya. So the student will simply have to follow the directions stated by the teacher. So kailangan may title ng bridge, nakalagay name nila, and then ayun, nagsama sila ng picture ng bridge that the teacher is asking for, a type of bridge. So let's take a look at this one made by Ollie. May picture ng bridge, and then after the picture, ayan, naka-bulleted list yung pieces of information or interesting facts asked by the teacher about the bridge. So pwede siyang mahabang column, scrollable din siya. So pagka present natin siya in a virtual class, halimbawa like this, makikita yung content hanggang sa baba, and then as many students, pwede, halimbawa 20 sila in a class, meron ka rin ding makikreate na 20 columns. Automatic yun when the student joins the Padlet, pag clinic niya yung part na makakapag-create siya ng content, ready na siya in a column arrangement like this. So that's the shelf layout. And then, another interesting layout for Padlet is Canvas. Dito naman sa layout na to, you can put content anywhere. You can even resize it. Halimbawa, malaki yung, marami yung text na ilalagay. O kaya you want to, let's just say you want to stress something over other pieces of information. Pwede mong lakihan yung font and you can connect it with other content on the page. So, halimbawa, you're doing brainstorming, you're doing mind maps, or you're trying to present an organizational chart, flow chart, ayan, pwede rito. So, si student, automatic din silang maglalagay kung anong name nila, like just like this one. An example is an organizational chart like this. So, nakalagay yung name and then kung ano yung role niya sa organization. The arrows can represent who's connected to who or who gives order to who. Yung lines, si student din ang gagawa. So, halimbawa, you're trying to make them brainstorm about how to efficiently do an audiovisual presentation. Say they're doing an advertisement about something. So, pwede sila dyan. And then while they're talking, sila mismo, kita na nila kung kanino, kung ano-ano yung magkaka-connect. So, that's the Canvas layout of Padlet. The next one is the grid. Dito naman, in this type of layout, the contents are arranged in rows of boxes. Kanina dun sa shelf, the content are arranged in columns. Dito sa row, sa grid, nasa rows of boxes sila. So, horizontal, pero parang dun sa column na unlimited siya, pwedeng columns mo and scrollable siya from left to right. Dito naman, pwede siya up to down. Makikita mo lahat ng contents kahit na ilan yung gagamit. So let us see how this grid looks like. Hintayin natin siya. So for this one, ang ginawang title nitong na-create ng Padlet na to is PBT Playlist, Throwback Thursday Playlist, Best Songs of 2015, and then there's a description at the bottom, a video playlist of purely unprofessional picks. So dito, specified na, ang ilalagay dun sa main title is the name of the artist and then the title of the song, and then naka-incorporate yung video. So pwede tayo mag-create na or mag-paste ng video content. And how we present it, i-play lang natin si video. So automatic, when we click the video, mag-play siya. So marireview natin siya from up. Scrollable siya. Kung gaano man karami yung iyong playlist. You want to see the main video, pwede rin siyang i-full screen. So visualizing how this can be used in the classroom o alalahanin ko yung aking mga DevCon days. Ito pwede yung presentation of outputs. Halimbawa, the students are made to do a video presentation. You can create a Padlet board where the students, from group activity man yan or individual activity, can simply create their contents like this. And then there's going to be like a festival of AVPs. Ayan, pwedeng ganon. So you can have a class, a synchronous class where the students are going to present their outputs. Papakita nila yung video nila. They can even, of course, explain the video. And the beauty of it is that ikaw lang, the moderator ng Padlet, yung mag-share. Wala yung malilesen yung time na you need to stop sharing because another student needs to screen share. Tapos other than that, syempre, mas tipid sa internet ng mga bata. dahil hindi nila kailangan gumamit ng mas malakas na internet to do the screen sharing. Plus, since the thing is shared with them, the Padlet board is shared with them, they can comment on each other's outputs. Pwede pa silang mag-evaluate, pwede silang mag-rate. Later or show you kung paano comment yung mga students dun sa mga Padlet posts. So, when you're doing an evaluation or presentation of outputs, pupunta ka lang sa isang Padlet board, and then you'll be the one to present their videos one by one. And it's not only videos that you can put using this type of layout. I just showed you how the grid layout for Padlet looks like. Another layout for Padlet is the timeline. Dito naman, the content is along a horizontal line, as opposed to the grid where you'll have multiple rows on a board. Sa timeline, it's just one horizontal line, and it's a long horizontal line. So scrollable ulit siya from left to right. In this example that we have here, title of the Padlet is Dinosaur Time Periods. Okay, so ginawa ng content, yung unang box, pwedeng short introduction about the 3 dinosaur time periods. Texts lang yung nakalagay, and then there's another box, text ulit siya, introduction, and then yung mga succeeding boxes, meron na siyang name ng dinosaur time period, and then may example na siya ng dinosaurs which lived in that particular period. Notice that each box, pwedeng iba-iba yung content. Text, tapos pwede rin natin iba-ibahin yung color ng mga boxes. So, ma-scroll natin siya hanggang sa dulo, hanggang dun sa last dinosaur time period. That's the timeline layout. One horizontal line for all your contents. And then we have the stream. Opposite dun sa timeline layout, where there's just one horizontal line for everything. Dito naman sa stream, your content will be along one vertical line. Pahaba naman siya. And ano example ng stream layout? Here's a project of a student created using Padlet in the stream layout. Title of the project is Book Review, How to Read Literature Like a Professor. Tapos merong nakalagay na name, a short description at the bottom, How to Read Literature Like a Professor by Thomas C. Foster. It's a book about, so parang blurb nung kanyang buong project. So sa umpisa, the maker of the Padlet has a paragraph including his overall rating of the book, and then below, the writer tried to link the book to or explain the Shakespearean influence in the book using visuals and the short text. Plus, pagdating doon sa pangatlo, gusto niyang i-present yung summary ng book review niya o summary ng plot ng book. Instead of using a very lengthy text, gumawa siya ng audio.
Hello, Ma'am Grace.
Yes.
Ma'am, meron po tayong direct message question. So, ito po, if we install Padlet in our PC or mobile gadget, can we still go around the platform to create or edit content even offline?
Hindi po. It needs internet connection.
Okay po, sana po yung nag-direct message ay nasagot po ni Ma'am Grace. So if you have other questions po, feel free po na i-chat po sa ating, i-type po sa ating chat box or click the raise hand button if you want to speak po. Thank you.
All right. So dito, i-create siya ng kanyang audio summary. Just note po that once the Padlet is shared for the with the teacher, for example, pwede magbigay ng comment agad si teacher. Ayun, may rating siya agad. Now, for this part of the book review, yung plot summary, 10/10 si student. And then scroll down para dun sa other part of the book review, central issues presented in the book. Plus, lumako siya sa imperfections, now again using visuals and short text explaining the visuals hanggang sa ending and other things about the book. Plus, yung list of sources niya kasama dito sa stream layout niya. So other things, links, according to the maker that the audience can use. And then, ayan, pati picture sources attributed. Nakalista yung mga links. Difference nitong stream layout compared dun sa shelf layout natin kanina is that this is ideal for longer texts. Mas marami ding madidikit na content, pictures, right, videos. It's more for individual projects. So, kasi isa lang yung column niya plus mas malaki yung, mas wide yung column compared dun sa nasa shelf natin kanina. So, pag ganito yung submission, what the student will just give you is a link to the submission. O, share niya mismo sa'yo. Later, I'll show you kung paano mag-share dun sa, o i-share yung Padlet na nagawa natin. And then, the last layout would be the map. Ayan, one of my favorite layouts, map. Dito sa mapa, o sa map layout, obviously, there is a map and we can use it when we want to show locations or if we want to give information about a certain thing about a place. Anong example nito? Punta tayo. In this Padlet, we have here the San Francisco burrito map. It's an interactive guide to the best burritos in San Francisco. Kita natin yung mga pins. Si maker ng Padlet, maa-access niya yung mapa. The maps can be searched in Padlet. Tapos si Padlet mismo yung mag-generate ng map na yon. And then, malalagay dun saan sa San Francisco may best burritos. So, halimbawa, i-click natin to link yung naka-embed sa kanya. Picture ng place and then the address. If you want to have more information, you click more and it's going to take you to the exact website. Ayan. So it's good for sharing information pertinent to a certain place. Of course, the content varies. So dito, burrito, pwede, we can ask the students to do say research about what places in the Philippines are known for this and that. Ganong klaseng type of exercise. Okay, and that's the map layout. So with those layouts, okay, we can now try to do Padlet or make a Padlet. Okay, so this is how the home page of Padlet looks like. Dito, naka-sign up na ako and you can see there the buttons join a Padlet. You'll join a Padlet if you have an account and then somebody shared with you a Padlet. I-click natin join a Padlet and then papasok lang natin yung link. Or kung tayo naman yung gagawa ng Padlet, we can click on make a Padlet. Just close the other tabs and so after clicking make a Padlet, you are to choose which among the layouts you're going to use. So from all the layouts I've shown later, you are to choose which is the most suitable layout for the type of activity that you're going to have in your virtual class. So let's say you're going to use the wall layout. So from wall layout, you click make a Padlet, and then I will choose wall. Select wall. And notice that there's already a background. May nakaset ng background when you use or when you click on a structure or a layout. Pwede naman siyang i-modify. So in the right side of the panel, we can update the title and the description of our Padlet board. And same time, dun sa panel na yun, we can also modify how the board will appear, how we want the postings set, and how we will do content filtering. Nandun siya sa next button. Let me show you that. Ayun. Next. So dito, palitan na natin ng title. I can change the title to whatever. Halimbawa, top of my mind would be characteristics of 21st century learners. And then you have here a description. So dito pwede na tayo maglagay ng description. So pwedeng questions. What are the characteristics of 21st century learners? Pwedeng include a picture that represents that characteristic, each name, and a brief explanation. So, babasa na kung sino mang makaka-access ng Padlet, and then you can even put an icon, which will appear here on the side of the Padlet. So you can pick an emoji as your icon. You can even add your own icon. Kung meron ka na sa computer, you upload it, you can post a link, take a photo, or even draw. And then what else can we customize? Kita nyo po, ito yung link that we will copy so that it can be accessed by the students. Copy lang sa clipboard, and then we'll paste it. Say I paste it here in our chat box. Because everybody can already have access to it, and they can start pasting, putting their content. Tayo ang may access dun sa appearance. So say ayaw mo ng peacock, you want to change the wallpaper, pwede. You can choose from something as plain as colors lang, solid colors. Parang PowerPoint din. Regions naman, pili. Pwedeng textures and patterns para mas mukhang interesting yung Padlet natin. Or you can even add your own picture. May ready pictures na po dito. Or halimbawa, gusto mo lang, let's say you want this Blue Lagoon background. Ayan. And you can add your own wallpaper. Pwede. Search, upload, paste a link, take a photo. Halimbawa, gusto mo, nandun ka dun sa wall, you can take a photo. It's going to take you to a camera or draw. And then, pwede palitan ng color scheme. Pwede magiging black yung boxes, just like what's gonna happen when I click this one. Or pwede na, puti lang yung background ng box. Fonts can also be changed. Ito yung usual font na ginagamit. But if you want to do it more interestingly, ayan, pwedeng palitan. Yun lang, once we set the font, it's going to be the same font for all the responses that's going to be pasted in the Padlet board. Hindi pwedeng mag-modify or hindi makakapag-modify si student. Unless parang sa Google Documents or sa Google Slides, gagawin mo silang i-share mo mismo sa kanila. Hindi lang basta what's this, parang kumbaga moderator or facilitator sila nung mismo o co-creator sila nung mismo Padlet. And then we can also vary how the new posts will be placed in the Padlet. Saan mapupunta? Halimbawa, sabay-sabay tayong sasagot dun sa Padlet, gagawa ng content. saan mapupunta yung, syempre, hindi sabay-sabay na makakapag-create at makakapag-enter, kumbaga. Saan mapupunta yung pinakabagong response? Sa unahan ba, dito sa side na to ng Padlet, or nalagay natin siya sa last part ng Padlet? Usually, we'd like to put it dun sa last para pag binasa natin halimbawa o binabasa natin kay students yung mga sharing o content na nasa Padlet, hindi tayo malilito na may magpa-pop in na magpa-pop in dito sa part na to. Nasa last part lahat. So we can read either from left to right or from top to bottom. Now, this is what I mean by comments. Ayan. Halimbawa, you'd like the students to comment on each other's outputs or each other's responses. We can just click this thing on comments, and then those who have access to your Padlet can comment on each other's outputs. Reactions? Pwede. Anong klaseng reaction? Can they like it? Or are you going to perhaps use the Padlet to create a poll? Pwede. They can vote. Pwede rin silang mag-star. Dito naman, pwedeng mag-numeric scores. O dito will be useful naman for us teachers. Pwedeng pasted na dun sa Padlet nila, halimbawa, yung numerical grade nila. And then, other things require approval. Halimbawa, bago mag-post, gusto mo ba na makikita mo muna as the moderator? Say it's not used in a virtual class like this. Halimbawa, they'll do it asynchronously. And then for presentation, say the next meeting. And you want to make sure that they're all going to post only appropriate content. Then you can click this part. Require approval. And meron pa ngang filter profanity. Replace bad words with nice emojis. That's how you modify your Padlet. So let's say all things are set. I can now click next. Then it says you're all set. Post to your heart's content. Use the post button, drag files in, or double click anywhere. Drag files in meaning kung nasa window siya, halimbawa, nasa computer natin siya, assignments, pwede lang natin siyang i-drag doon, halimbawa kung pictures or other types of visuals. And then we just click start posting. So we're done with this part. Okay, adjust the settings. Paano naman natin i-adjust yung settings? I've said this already, or I've shown this already. Doon tayo sa privacy settings muna. Privacy settings. Balik tayo kay Padlet. Ayan, I can see now that there's already one. Pumasok sa link natin who can post here. O, paano yung settings ng Padlet natin? Kung sa settings ng Padlet natin, we just have to click share. Ayun. So, doon sa share or privacy settings, there are 5 standard options to choose from. Private, if you want to keep the Padlet hidden from public. Even if someone manages to get it, they won't be able to access it. Pwede rin siyang password, password protect. Pag binigay natin sa kanilang link, they will be asked to input a password. Okay, naman secret, this is the default type. Pag hindi natin binago yung privacy settings, when we make a Padlet account, automatic, nakaset siya sa secret privacy setting. Pagka secret privacy settings, hidden siya, and then you can choose to share it with someone, and ayun, they should be able to access it. Depende dun sa ways of how we're going to present the Padlet. And then lastly, public. O members only, halimbawa, the account is for a school, for an institution, ayun, pwede na ang nakaka-access lang yun ng members of the institution. And then lastly, public. Pag sinabing public, halimbawa, search ko lang sa Google, Padlet on a Padlet about UPLB. So makikita lahat, and they can jump in and try to add anything dun sa Padlet. At the same time, we can also choose what visitors can do dun sa ating Padlet board. Pwedeng we can only allow them to read the Padlet or view the Padlet. They can write on it. Ito yung default na setting niya. Or they can moderate it. Or they can also administer your Padlet. So, saan siya makikita? Ayun. Ito si, naka-secret siya dun sa share setting. And then nakaset siya na visitors can write. If you want to change it, ayan siya. So, private. password, members only, secret, public, and then here, visitor permissions. Ako, I allowed them to write. Okay. Can read, wala silang magagawa kundi mabasa lang. Pag can edit, ito pwede na silang mag-view and add posts, edit and approve others' posts. Halimbawa, kung clinic mo yung part na kailangan, may approval mo na ng admin, and they cannot however, they cannot modify and delete the Padlet or invite collaborators. And then, share a Padlet board. Paano mag-share ng Padlet board? But before that, before I tell you how to share the Padlet board, let's try to use this one. So, pag gagamit tayo ng wall, ayan. Click lang natin yung plus sign, pink plus sign at the bottom, and then dito may subject. Halimbawa, sa subject, pangalan na lang ng estudyante. Halimbawa, my name. Okay? And then, you can write something fantastic. Halimbawa, gusto ko, sabi kasi characteristics of 21st century learners, sabi ni teacher, I have to paste a picture. So, meron akong options. Ito, pwede akong mag-upload ng picture. Hanap ako ng picture dito sa computer ko kung meron na ako. Halimbawa, ito. Okay. Open. And then, mapipaste na siya dyan. And then, I can add a caption. Halimbawa lang po, this one is, characteristic would be curious. Tapos, may explanation na ako sa dulo. Short explanation. Gusto ko maguhin. Ayoko ng kulay ng Padlet board ko, puti. Palitan natin. Gawin natin green. Kapag pinost natin siya, pag pinublish natin siya, green siya. What if ayoko naman ng picture? I'll just remove it. Wala pala akong picture. Halimbawa, sinabi ni teacher, instruction ni teacher, paste the picture of yourself holding something that represents 21st century learners. I click the camera icon, and there's going to be a notification that says Padlet.com wants to use your camera. Tell your students to allow it. And then, meron tayong instant photo booth. Depende na lang sa lakas ng internet connection natin. It's going to start the camera, and then your student, nakaharap sa kanya yung camera, naka-front cam option tayo. So, si student, makikita niya kung ano yung, pwede siyang mag-selfie, ayan. In layman's term, pwede siyang mag-selfie. Sorry lang for the speed of the internet. So, kung ganyan ang itsura niya, ayan. Propose na siyang ganyan kasi gusto niyang sabihin na techie ang 21st century learners. And then, take a shot, automatic, mapopost na siya dito. Hindi ganyan ang instruction. Wala akong picture sa computer ko. And then, I can paste a link. Hanap ako ng picture dito. 21st century learners. Okay. And I'll go to images. Pili akong isa. Halimbawa, itong icon na itong gusto ko. I'll copy the link address. Balik ako kay Padlet. Paste ko yung link dito. And click the arrow. Ayan. Doon pupunta kung ano man yung picture natin na yun. We just have to make sure na tama nga yun yung mismo picture na yun. Ayan. Sample ni Sir Edmund. Ayan. So, 21st century learners are creative and innovative. Ayan, look, meron siyang, gusto kong bigyan ng recitation grade. Pwede akong mag-grade dun sa post niya. 100 over 100. Kung yun ang ano. Tapos, others can comment on it. Agree on that. Sagot yung iba. Okay. So, lahat ng mga participants pwedeng mag-comment. Okay, remove natin. Ano pang pwedeng ilagay natin? Pwede tayo maglagay ng image search, diretso sa Google, and other things. Ayan pa po. Look at the multiple things that our students can include in a post. Pwede mag-upload, may camera, may video recorder. Sila mismo yung mag-take ng video nila. Audio recorder, just like what we saw in the book review Padlet sample, we shared pwedeng screen recorder. They can share a location, pwede sila mismo mag-drawing, and they can share another Padlet. And for instance, you made another Padlet, halimbawa, it's now I'm thinking of teachers naman working together, and they all were asked to design, say, a class schedule for the next school year. They all made their Padlets about it. Then pwede. Sama-sama, kung ilang teachers kayo, halimbawa sa department, nakalagay dyan yung may Padlet kayong kanya-kanya ng proposed schedule nyo, then paste nyo lang siya in one Padlet like this. And sa baba, other things that you can post. Link, images, GIFs, YouTube links, parang yung playlist Padlet kanina, something on Spotify, and anything else that you wish to post. And when you're done, you just have to click publish. Pagka pinablish natin siya, ayan, itsura. Wala akong nalagay na picture. Ayan, yung example natin itong kay Sir Edmund. So, lahat pwedeng mag-post. So, ito, again, this is the wall layout. So, hindi natin kailangan or hindi tayo particular dun sa arrangement ng content. So, this is the wall layout for you. Pabalik tayo sa iba naman ang gagawin ko ng stream naman. So, halimbawa, stream, ang gagawin natin, yung one vertical line. So, nakita nyo ulit, there's already a default setting for it in terms of the background. Ayan. Pwede natin i-modify. Palitan yung tablet. Okay, palitan, title. And then, made with big dreams. Okay, icon papalitan. Ayan. Wallpaper. Let's go back dun sa homepage. And then, another thing, last siguro dito sa, try natin tong grid. Oops, this is embarrassing. We might be making it while making your Padlet. Pag ganon, try. May mga errors minsan pag maraming gumagamit no Padlet. So, pag ganon, balik tayo dun sa dashboard natin. Okay, that's the error. The error is that I've already exceeded my limits. Nakalimang Padlet board na ako. So, hindi na ako pwede dahil I only have a free account. Pag ganon, i-delete natin siya. So, halimbawa, I'll delete this one. May option, the process of deleting is, type natin yung password. 8869. Yun yung naman siya. I-delete natin siya. Balik tayo dito sa ayan, try natin gamitin. Since sinimulan na ni Sir Edmund, I'm going to share it and look how we can share the Padlet. Dito, we can add members, but this is going to be tedious kung marami kayong estudyante kasi dito isa-isa yung lalagay yung kanilang mga email addresses na recognized by Padlet. So, pwedeng, very simply, we copy the link to the clipboard. We can get a QR code. Pwede natin siyang ilagay sa website natin o sa blog. You can send a link to it via email to your students. Pwede mong lagay sa Facebook, Twitter, or if you're using Google Classroom, pwede rin. So let's share this one. Copy the Padlet link and let's try using it. Okay, you're on your computers right now. Kindly click the link and try lang din po natin a picture that, title ng Padlet natin, Characteristics of 21st Century Learners. What are the characteristics of 21st century learners? Include a picture that represents each and a brief explanation. So si Teacher Marita, ayan, nag-agree, nag-comment siya. So please try making your own content. Ayan, ito lang po. Plus button, yung pink button at the bottom, and then, ayun. Let's try to paste that picture that would represent that characteristic of 21st century learner that you will name, and then, konting explanation. And then, try din po natin to react or comment on each other's responses. Tapusin ko yung akin. Pwede, yan. There's also an option to edit, yung 3 dots sa taas. I can edit my post and actually look for a picture. Okay, hinahanap kong picture, then ayan, so picture na ako, may caption, and then there, I can just update my content. Si Sir Edmund, binodify din niya, ginawa niyang pink yung background ng kanyang content. So kung ilan tayo dito, say we are 20 plus, so nakaka-create din tayo ng 20 na ganyan. Sige po, take your time. O iba, explore po natin. Try natin yung iba, yung what's this? Take a picture of ourselves. Ayan, pwede. And good thing is, pwedeng magsulat ng, o mag-create ng multiple content. So, halimbawa, si Sir Edmund, hindi lang hindi lang innovative o innovative yung naisip ng characteristic. He has, say, 2 more characteristics of 21st century learners that he'd like to share. Pwede. Click lang niya ulit yung plus button. And then, makakapag-create na sila ng content. So this way, engaged yung students natin, right? They're the ones thinking, ano nga ba, halimbawa, ang characteristics ng 21st century learners, pa-active sila, hindi sila yung mga usual passive audience natin in virtual classes na nakikinig lang sa atin, nag-lecture lang, tayo, halimbawa po. And then we're asking them to watch a video. Dito, sila mismo yung mag-create ng content. So definitely, there's higher engagement. We can even do it a group activity. Halimbawa, group 1. O, kayo, ito ang tanong nyo. What are the characteristics of 21st century learners? O, ibahin nga lang natin yung layout pagka ganon. So, ano ang characteristics of 21st century learners? Kayo yan, group 1. Group 2. Kayo naman yung, if you have characteristics of 21st century learners, ano naman dapat yung mga klase ng teachers na meron to cater 21st century learners? So, hanap, characteristics naman of 21st century teachers. Group 3, kayo naman, what types of assessments would be effective for 21st century learners? So, iisa lang sila, iba lang tayo ng layout na gagawin, hindi lang wall. We can use perhaps the shelf type of layout for it, and then there. Pwede natin nang i-present sa klase natin. So yun lang, when we are using this in the classroom, we have to give very clear instructions to the students. At the same time, allow them to, or give them enough time, there you go, depending on the complexity of the task we're giving them. So kung ganyan, nakahanap sila ng picture, o kaya kung gusto mo yung, what's this, yung they're going to take a picture of themselves, then mahaba-habang oras yung kailangan doon, then play ka na ng konting music, ayan, habang ginagawa nila para yung jumpy music, kumbaga, para excited din sila when they're using the task, ayan. And then, of course, it's important that we inform them beforehand that they're going to be on a device where they can use Padlet, o kaya kung may laptops, tablet sila, then they should be using that. Para ma-maximize yung time, there you go. Hiwalay yung time, halimbawa kung the students are not yet used or not yet familiar with using this application, hiwalay yung time to explain natin sa kanila kung paano gumamit ng tablet. Ayan. Si Sir Kelvin, ayan, gumamit ng kasi sa video or GIF. Ayan. Sabi ni, tama, agree. Agree, Sir Kelvin. They tend to get distracted easily. Ayan, sabi ni Sir Calvin, GIF. Ayan. So, pwede tayo maglagay ng GIF. So, dito ulit, pwede tayo mag-comment. Sabihin ko, I agree. Diba? Dahil ngayong naka-online classes tayo, onting notification lang sa Facebook or IG nila, ayan, wala na. We've lost them. Again, pag ganitong meron tayong interactive board like this, ayan, engaged sila and mas interested sila na makilahok sa ating discussion kasi kasali sila. Hindi lang sila mere listeners. Pwede rin siya asynchronously. Halimbawa, medyo, sige po, just create your contents on the board. Pwede siyang asynchronously, especially kung medyo complex yung task na paggagawa natin sa kanila. Halimbawa nga, video presentation. Halimbawa, infomercial. Ayan. Gagawa sila ng commercial about a campaign, not about for a certain candidate, pero an election infomercial. Ayan, halimbawa ganun. So pag ganun, they'll do it asynchronously using Padlet. Bigyan nyo na sa kanila yung link ng Padlet and then asynchronously na-access nila yon. Tapos set na lang a time or a day specifically where you will present their outputs. Ayan. So, sino po sumagot nito? Collaborative ang characteristic. Collaborative, 21st century learners mostly learn effectively with interaction to their peers, yes, and their environment. So, you would see, dun sa sagot na collaborative, how this tool, Padlet, can really help add that collaborative factor dun sa ating mga lessons or classes. That's from teacher Manette. Now you see here that teacher Edmund also agreed with Sir Kelvin. Ayan, I agree. There are many distracting and competing messages and activities, most especially if students are online. So dito, you can call the students to explain further their responses. O kaya naman, tawagin din natin yung nag-comment. To explain further, diba? One sentence lang, you want to encourage discussion in the classroom, ayan. Call them out, call them to elaborate their responses. So, hindi siya, hindi kailangan na pilitin pa natin sila halimbawa na mag-open ng camera kasi nakikita na natin yung sagot nila and they can just unmute sa Zoom o sa Gmeet halimbawa kung Gmeet yung ginagamit para express sila ng ideas. I don't know if it's the same for the tertiary level, but one thing that we have noticed in junior high school is that this distance learning modality, yung having online classes, have transformed or have changed our learners to becoming, I don't know, pero parang bigla sila naging mahiyain. Kung noon, in face-to-face classes, hindi kapag tapos sa tanong mo, they'd readily raise their hands. Unahan pa sila to answer your question or to share something, di ba? Nagbigay ka sa kanila ng prompt or situation. Dito, sa virtual classroom, bigla silang naging mahiyain. Iilan na lang yung mga estudyante natin who would readily use the raise hand icon. O kaya naman, would readily unmute to say, yeah, I agree. Sir, ma'am, I agree. Or I totally disagree with what you said. Wala nang ganun. Biglang hindi naging safe space or comfortable space for them yung online. So this one, with the use of Padlet, na relieve yung ganong klaseng fear or uncomfortableness. Kasi nasusulat muna nila and they can see that all their classmates are doing the same. So once nasulat nila, ayan, it's being able to use Padlet myself, nakita ko na mas effective sa students. Yung nasusulat muna nila, nawawala yung barrier na, oops, baka ako lang yung sasagot or oops, baka sabihin ng classmates ko, ako lang yung bida-bidang sumasagot. Nawawala yung ganung barrier kasi lahat nakikita nila na nagpa-participate. And it's easier now to encourage them to unmute and explain further their responses. Okay, so that's the use of the wall layout. Let's try another layout. So delete natin, halimbawa ito, in the news. Dito naman, it's a stream kind of layout. Pahaba siya. Halimbawa, palitan natin yung Padlet. Delete ulit natin siya. 7539 is the password. Let's make a Padlet. Halimbawa, gawa tayo ng, kasi yung kanina, canvas. Okay. So, gawa tayo ng canvas. Halimbawa, brainstorming activity. Title natin, how can we make virtual more interesting? Okay. The description, provide answer the question using keywords. So, since hindi masyadong malaking space natin sa canvas, so keywords tuloy. Ano ba? Keywords. Sorry. Ayan. So, halimbawa, okay na ako sa wallpaper na yan. I'd say next. And ask you to start posting. Same thing. I'll share it by copying the link to the keyboard and then pasting it there. Let's see. Ano itsura pagka canvas naman yung layout natin? So the link is posted in our chat box. You can now try using it. So, una, may subject ulit. Isipin nga po ulit. Pangalan muna ulit natin yung ilagay natin. And this time, sabi, keywords lang. Ano, sample, keyword. Yung kulay nyo sa akin, blue naman. And then I'll publish. Now, I need to see more responses para makita natin paano tayo magko-connect ng mga lines. Which one is connected to another. Maliit lang po yan. Compare dun sa wall natin na naka-bricks siyang ganun. Pagka canvas type yung ginamit natin na link, ayun, mas maliit yung space natin for writing. Kasi concept mapping, halimbawa yung gagawin natin for this one, or mind maps, or for brainstorming activities, ayan, just like this one. Pwede rin po, shortcut, yung sa modification, halimbawa you'll modify the title, double-click nyo lang siya. Natagdag ka ng punctuation mark. Ayan. So, save. Ayun, sabi ni Sir Kelvin, Q&A. You can see that Sir Kelvin can move his. And tingnan nyo po, I can right-click Sir Kelvin's response and I can connect it to a post. Halimbawa, related ang Q&A sa collaboration. So, ayun. Connect ko siya dito. Ayun. Okay. Learning games. Lumagot si Sir Eman. Interactive din. Ano-ano ang examples ng collaboration? Saan makikita? Ayun. Pwede siya doon. O, kung ikaw yung mag-prepare ng Padlet, pwedeng lipat mo na, magawa ka na ng mga headings. Lahat ng activities related dun sa collaboration, dito nyo lagay, i-connect nyo, gawin yung color blue, ayan. Pwede kayo magbigay ng added instructions like that. O, lahat ng related, dito sasabi ni Sir Eman na interactive, connect nyo dito sa akin, tapos kulay brown dapat ang background nung bubble o nung dialog box. Sir Edmund sabi niya, learning games. So, saan i-connect ni Sir Edmund? Sa interactive. Sir Edmund is going to press that or click that set of dots on top and then pwede niyang i-connect sa posts. Kanino? Patuloy nandito. Dito ako connected sa sagot ni Sir Eman, interactive. Same thing, pwede rin i-expand o pwedeng i-disconnect. Mali pala, nag-discuss kayo. Hindi naman eh. Not necessarily naman na yung Q&A is already a form of a collaboration, di ba? Kasi Q&A can be done individually. Pwede kong i-disconnect. Just click X. Okay, so dito, again, a way of checking our students' critical thinking of how they see things as connected or not connected. Ayan. We can use the canvas type of layout for Padlet. So, mas madali, kita ng lahat agad. And again, the thing about being able to show how ideas are related or unrelated. That chunking, according to a respondent, is one strategy that we can do to make virtual classes more interesting. So, hanap ulit. Saan pwedeng connected yung chunking? And then, what I can think of as a synthesizing step in this kind of Padlet is baka pwedeng magkaroon ng major strategies or headings perhaps. Anong klase yung mga, or what would be the main characteristics of classes that are interesting? Ano yung present? Ayan, there's collaboration, there's interactivity, etc. Tapos nakalagay yun. Again, we imagine sample activities connected to the heading collaboration. Sample activities connected to the heading interactive. So same thing, pwede na, dahil pinalagay natin yung pangalan ng mga estudyante natin dito, we can call them to elaborate their answers. Okay, 2 things that we can do. And then, moving forward, I've shared this one, writing on the Padlet, we've done this one. Okay, doon tayo sa pag-store ng Padlet. How do we store a Padlet? Let's say, I'll go back to this one. Ayan, no? You can see here, pwede rin maglagay ng picture, just like what Teacher Manette did. So, babalik tayo sa dashboard natin. So, halimbawa, you are using a paid account. Tapos, you want to store your Padlet para madaling hanapin. Then, you can create a new folder. Just click this icon at the bottom and then create a new folder, have a folder name. Einstein is one of our sections. I can use another section, Curie. Okay. So lahat ng Padlet na kay Curie, I'll add to the folder na para kay Curie. How do I do that? Again, those 3 dots at the bottom of each Padlet board, I can add to folder and then choose which of these 2 folders I'm going to put this particular Padlet board in. Para hindi cluttered masyado pag marami ka ng Padlet. And then, okay, export Padlets. Ayan. I've shown this earlier, but let's just review. Say you want to keep this one, pwede natin siyang export. We can save it as an image. Pwede rin siya sa PDF, CSV. You can put it as an Excel spreadsheet or pwede rin po siya direktang i-print na natin. You remake a Padlet board. Halimbawa, you're done with this section and you want to remake it for the use of another section. Pareho ng title, pareho ng instructions. Pinutin lang po natin yung remake icon. Pwede natin palitan ng title. Halimbawa, lagyan natin ng section. Curie. And then, sasubmit lang po natin. Ito, tingnan nyo po. Pwedeng mag-copy ng design, layout, wallpaper, or baka gusto natin yung mismong post ang ika-copy natin. O kaya naman, admin-only options, yung privacy settings, and yung authorship settings we can change, and then, or we can copy and then just click submit. And then the last thing that we need to know about Padlet, deleting it. Ayun, I've shown this earlier. From the dashboard, we are to locate those 3 buttons at the bottom, and then we just select delete Padlet. Before deleting, we will be asked to enter a 4-digit code in the box. And once we've typed it, we just click submit. Okay, now that we've tried it, let me give you other activities where we can use the Padlet, although some have already were already mentioned. Activities to use the Padlet, we can do it for brainstorming in a topic, statement, or project idea, particularly in a wall layout like this. Pwede rin siya live question bank. Naka-shelf layout naman siya. A question, and then nakaayos yung mga sagot ng mga students natin from one topic or one question to another. This is an example of an online student portfolio. Dito naman, si student mismo ang gagawa ng kanyang portfolio. So lahat ng ginawa niya for the whole SEM, for instance, lalagay niya lang sa isang Padlet. So mula sa kanyang picture, biography niya, if you've asked him or her to write one, and pati goals and objectives niya for the SEM, lahat ng kanyang mga activities. And ano lang bibigay niya sa inyo, she or he will only give you a link to his or her Padlet. And then, in one Padlet board, kita na natin lahat ng ginawa niya for the whole semester. And then, something I usually do, an exit ticket Padlet. Dito pwede natin, ayan, tanong sa kanila, o ipagawa sa kanila, magbigay tayo ng questions, right? Or prompt. Halimbawa, what did you learn today? Simple as that. Or what didn't you understand today? Questions like that. Current events, kaninang sample Padlet that I showed you. So dito, they can speak about current events. This is something that I do with my journalism classes. So dito nilalagay nila yung, nag-a-assign ako ng isang estudyante to work or to share a news report for the day. So si student 1, kung lalagay niya yung link mismo, pwede natin puntahan yung link. And then I ask the student to either give his or her insight on the news and then give more information kung meron pang update halimbawa dun sa pinis niya na yun. So ang ending, sa buong linggo, meron kaming complete list of news reports for the whole week. Okay. And ngayon, for the last part of our activity, I'd like to again, let me modify this one. Roses, thorns in writing. I'd like to make a Padlet. Yeah, let's make it a wall again. And this time, for the last part, I'd like to ask for what lesson and their activity can you use Padlet in your virtual classes? Sa lahat po ng pinag-usapan natin this morning, what do you think would be an activity or lesson? Can you use Padlet in? I'll just copy again the link in the clipboard. Let me replace this with this time a solid color. And next, copy the link, start posting, pasting it in our chat box. Again, question po is based on the things that we have talked about, Padlet this morning, ano po yung activity or lesson which you think you can effectively use Padlet in? Explore po natin, ha? Ayan, when we double click, again, ayan, pwede kayong maglagay ng pictures, texts, GIFs. Teacher Calvin says, takeaway section. Ayun. What's your major takeaway from this lesson or from this activity? Leveling of activities. Okay. So, pansinin niyo po, yung dalawang responses, pwede natin gawin na yung isa, may pangalan ng estudyante para madali nating pasagutin yung estudyante or tawagin, halimbawa gusto natin i-elaborate. Pwede rin siyang maging anonymous. Halimbawa, you're trying to get feedback for your semester, halimbawa, or for your subject, halimbawa. Then, pwedeng maglagay si student ng comment, hindi mo ipalagay yung pangalan ng student, hindi mo naman makikita when the public tab, Padlet is already completed. So again, mawawala yung kung uso pa sa college, yung threat, naalala ko may eval forms pala kami noon sa props namin. Ayun. Ma-safe, kumbaga, yung feeling ng estudyante sa pagbibigay ng feedback. And given that, mas objective o kumbaga, mas makatotohanan yung feedback na ibibigay sa atin. Okay, Sir Edmund pala yung leveling of activities. Okay, for recitation. Okay. Lalo pagka mahirap mag-monitor ng recitation sa chat box kasi minsan mabilis silang mag-type tapos mag-scroll ka pa up and down. O dito, kita mo agad kung saan siya magagamit. So, ulit lang po, for a free account, you are limited to have 5 Padlet boards, but you saw from how we used Padlet using my account, madali naman siyang i-delete and i-remake or i-update para okay lang sa atin yung free account. Kung kailangan natin siya for other purposes, then we can use the premium account or the institution can have, meron silang package for that, for schools and universities. Pwede po. Okay, while we are waiting for the others' responses. Another one from Teacher Edmund, organizing student outputs into a portfolio. Another one, this one with the picture, in between or during lecture discussions to get student engagement. Definitely multiple ways to use Padlet in our virtual classes. Yun nga po kagaya ng raise na question kanina, kailangan po talaga ng internet connection for this. I-install man po natin siya or gamit lang tayo dun sa website. Kailangan ng internet connection. And on that note, and seeing how you are already familiar with how to explore or how to use Padlet, I'd like to leave the group with this note. Ending the session that, or confirming that we know how well, or we know very well what technology can do in our classrooms. But of course, we know that we as educators will never be replaced by technology. However, there's the challenge that we use technology in such a way that we use it so that we can transform the education sector. And with that, thank you very much again for your participation in today's session.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Grace, for that very interesting and comprehensive demonstration on how to use Padlet. So for sure, yung pong mga faculty members natin will find it's very beneficial in making their classes interactive. At the same time, i-promote po yung collaborative learning between and among the students. So thank you very much po, Ma'am Grace. So at this point po, we can now po entertain questions from the participants. Okay, ma'am, ito, meron isang question kanina po. So, pwede po bang magpalit ng layout kapag may ongoing activity na sa Padlet?
Pwede naman po. Kaya lang, it's not advised kasi po, madidistract din yung mga estudyante. So, a good thing to do is just like how we do it when we plan any instructional or plan to use any instructional material. Establish po muna natin ano yung goals natin, ano eksakto yung gusto nating malaman o i-share na content ng mga estudyante. And then from the layouts, we can decide ano yung most appropriate na gamitin.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So another question po. Pwede po bang iset yung duration or expiration for the students to participate in an activity or Padlet? Meron po bang duration na pwedeng iset? Or kumbaga during the class lang siya pwedeng i-share for the students?
Pwede siyang i-set, sir, pero si Padlet, nagbabago siya ng link every 2 days, I think, or 3 days. So parang kung mag-generate tayo ng Padlet link, dapat 2 days, in 2 days magamit na natin.
Okay po. So ma'am, may questions lang din po. Ma'am, ano po yung advantage nito ng Padlet over Jamboard? Kasi dun sa mga app na available dun sa Google, sa UPLB, meron kang ginagamit na Jamboard. Parang it's a collaborative app then for the faculty and students to interact during a class discussion. So ano po yung kayang major advantage or yung Padlet over Jamboard?
Padlet's advantage would be pwede tayong maglagay sa kanya ng iba't ibang content. So sa Jamboard, usually post-it, yes, may images din. Plus, mas madaling i-maneuver si Padlet when it comes to trying to engage the students dun sa mag-react sila o mag-comment sila on each other's responses. Sa Jamboard, medyo mahirap kasi walang option agad na okay, mag-comment ka ulit. Gagawa ka pa ng text box, tatapat mo halimbawa dun sa pinis ni Teacher Edmund, dun mo lalagay sa ilalim. Plus, wala siyang label. So, kumbaga, pag nasa Padlet tayo, automatic, may option na doon na ilagay mo na yung name mo, alam na agad natin kung sino yung gumamit. Plus, yun nga, malawak yung Padlet. Pwede natin siyang scroll from left to right or up, down. Ang advantage naman ng Jamboard is, halimbawa na iba't ibang contents din yung ginagamit natin. And group activity naman. Sa Jamboard naman, 1 page ang pwede nating ibigay per group. But if you want to see the whole picture of it, with everybody in the class collaborating, Padlet would be a better option.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So kasi na-experience ko rin yung Jamboard sa isa sa mga classes. So nakita ko mas flexible, marami ding pwedeng gamitin na layout. Kasi dun sa Jamboard parang more on parang text box lang siya.
Yeah.
Ma'am, so dito sa Padlet medyo nagiging mas creative, mas nagiging engaging kasi merong visuals, may video. So I think mas okay nga itong Padlet po. Sana maisama na rin siya dun sa mga icons na that we can easily access po dun sa ating Google po. So thank you very much po. So meron pa po ba tayong questions from the participants? Before po natin i-award ang Certificate of Appreciation sa ating guest speaker for today. Any more questions po, clarifications? Very ready po si Ma'am Grace to answer our questions. I think siguro maging maganda po yung yung discussion ni Ma'am. So I think wala silang masyado ng questions at this point. Okay po, so it's already 10:29. So at this point po, let me award po the Certificate of Appreciation to our guest speaker. Okay po, let me first read the citation. Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Mary Grace Ramos-Espiel for serving as resource speaker in the training workshop on upgrading of pedagogy using Padlet, held on 21 of April 2022 at the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, University of the Philippines, Los Baños College, Laguna. So signed, Director of UPLB CATL, Edmond G. Centeno, and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jean O. Loyola. So maraming salamat po, Ma'am Grace Espiel. Sa susunod po ulit. Narinig ko kayo, Sir Edmond, na parang meron ulit tayong invitation with Ma'am Espiel for this upcoming trainings po na i-offer ng CATL. So thank you very much po. So at this point po, we would like to encourage po all the participants to like and follow our Facebook page. So nakikita po niyo yung link for you to see po yung mga latest activities, so yung offerings po na trainings ng UPLB CATL. We would also